Hello everyone and welcome to Tosu Show. And today we are playing Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. So yes, that is the remastered version that is available on multiple platforms, but here I'm playing the PlayStation Now version. So as you can see, .emu helped on this, which is very interesting. .emu did tons of remasters. Like, for example, one of the latest ones that I want to try one of these days, The Flight of Amazon Queen, which is a game that I actually presented one of these days, if you remember. And I even have like a full playthrough available of it. They do have an anniversary edition that was done by .emu. Same thing with Simon the Sorcerer and all those kind of other games that I just love that one day I have to do a video about. But today we're focusing on Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. And the interesting thing about Final Fantasy VIII is that it's not necessarily a game that I love that much. I don't think it's a bad game, by the way. It's just that within all the Final Fantasy, this Final Fantasy was maybe too different for people that love Final Fantasy. And I think that's why it got mixed reactions. I would say there's some good stuff in it, but we're going to talk about it a little bit more. But right now, let's press any button. And let's get started. Yes, Squaresoft. I wish we were back into that time of Squaresoft domination on RPGs, because they did so many great RPGs. And this is the first thing that you will notice in this game is that, yes, no Final Fantasy prelude or prologue. It's using that new music that is completely different. But it's not about music per se, it's more military. But that you will understand why it's military oriented, because the game is pretty much about multiple universities that train people to be military, and you'll see that the story is a bit more serious. I think that compared to Final Fantasy VI and VII that were more steampunk, this one, I don't even know how to say what it is. It's more like a modern game in a sort. It's not really steampunk. There's some steampunk elements, I assume. I like to say steampunk, but I guess Final Fantasy VI and VII were not that steampunk, but they were kind of like fantasy steampunk, kind of. This one, this Final Fantasy is very different from that vibe of fantasy. It looks more real, maybe a bit too real, and that's why it's a bit weird. Although the story of Final Fantasy VIII, if you really want to compare it to something, it's probably very comparable to Final Fantasy I, and that's what's crazy about it. And I'm not going to go into that detail, but there is some thinking about Final Fantasy I when you understand the story at a certain point in the story. Because yeah, you have to do a lot of things before you kind of understand that part of the story. But you can see that here, the game is really showing like the scars, the style of the people is more accurate of our era. Well, obviously not for EDA here. But it's different, it's very different. I think that this Final Fantasy set up that more like real life style of RPG, which then we will get on nearly all Final Fantasy going forward. Well, obviously not the next one, which is Final Fantasy IX, that we're gonna play as usual. But once you think about Final Fantasy X, 10-2, 13, not 12, because 12 is more likely also a bit more medieval in a sort. 15, all those Final Fantasy became much more close to real life. It's more real, and I don't know if I like that on the game that is named Final Fantasy, right? There's the word fantasy, and that's why I have pros and cons to that. You saw the Balam Garden symbol, which will be very important. I'm keeping that whole staff credits, because I think it's good to actually have that into the video. You saw a lot of the characters of the game within this. We don't see their image, we don't see their face at all, which I think is very interesting. And that black and white photography perspective is interesting too. But yes, this is Final Fantasy VIII, and Final Fantasy VIII really shows that he wants to be different from any Final Fantasy. And even the gameplay is different, and we're gonna go through that a little bit later. So right, here we are, Final Fantasy VIII. I'm super excited to play this game. I know that I don't have such great memory about it. There's some good memories that I have of it, I'll be honest, but it's not my favorite Final Fantasy, and I'm saying that straight off the bat. Alright, Final Fantasy VIII, here we go. The credit, continue, and new game. How interesting. So they start with actually just showing you how you can play the game. So as you can see, triangle is menu, circle is cancel, X is confirm, square is card game. And we're going to talk about that because I think that's one of the best things that game has. You can see that L3 and R3 avoid any random battle if you press both of them together. You can move, if you press just L3, you can go at three times the speed. R3 allow you to use the battle boost, like for HP, ATB, limit break. It's kind of like cheating the game in a sort, so I don't like using that. The directional pad apparently does same thing when you can move, so same thing than the left stick. L1 and R1 allow you to rotate left and right. I don't know what it means. I would be curious about it. And you can see that the trackpad is showing you a map, which is interesting. And the options menu is pause. R2 is to switch point of view. We'll see what it means. And flee battle L2 and R2. All right, let's get started. And that's where we're going to have that amazing sequence. I love that opening. That opening is great. It's funny because when I think about it, I'm thinking about the end of Final Fantasy VII because of Sephiroth, the theme that you have at the end. When you... Anyway, I'll be here. Why? I'll be waiting here. For what? I'll be waiting for you, so if you come here, you'll find me. So now the question is, who is saying this? I promise. Because when you see that opening, you may think that Rinoa, who is the lady that you see here, is saying it, but maybe it's somebody else. And here's the battle against Cypher, because you have to, so you see Edea here. This actually is a foreshadowing of certain things. Interesting. So here you can see Cypher and Squall against each other, both using what they call gun blades. You can see that Squall always has that lion pendant. Foreshadowing. There's a lot of foreshadowing on this. I can't believe it. I never realized it in the past. So this is not a foreshadowing. The beginning of the game is really about after the battle between Cypher and Squall, which for both of them something's gonna happen because of that. It's a 4x3. I don't think they really changed the quality that much of FMVs here. The cutscene seems to be kind of like similar to what it used to be. It's an amazing cutscene, right? Like, when you think about it at the time, it's beautiful. It's much better than what they used to do on Final Fantasy VII, for example. And it's only maybe 2 years later, Final Fantasy VII? I'm not sure. Ouch. So here it is, the scar from Squall, and then the scar from Cypher. So is Final Fantasy VIII mostly about a love story? What's that? opening kind of try to make you think it is? I would say yes and I would say no at the same time. But here we are, we're getting started with the game. And look at those 3D style. At the time, having that 3D style, and here actually it's a little bit better because the 3D style was a little bit squarish. That 3D style was fantastic at the time. I remember when you play things like Resident Evil 2 that looks like the same, or Parasite Eve, or Metal Gear Solid, all those games looked so good at the time. Obviously, nowadays you replay that and you're like, maybe not as good. But, but you can see here that with the 3D of the characters and then with the 2D of the background. And you can definitely see those backgrounds are pixelated, unfortunately, here. Let's get started. Before I get started, also a new thing here is definitely the way that all those, you can see that grayish dialog box here. It's all new, and that's the new style that we kind of gonna have to use later on Final Fantasy. I think we use it on Final Fantasy VII the same way. Sorry, Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy IX the same way, but after that, Final Fantasy X is a bit special because it's not anymore on the same platform, because it's moved from PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2. But anyway, that's more the style that we're gonna adopt afterwards, Square Enix. Alright, let's get started. Dr. Kadowaki. How are you feeling? Okay, I guess. My forehead hurts. Let's say okay. Okay. Take it easy next time, you hear? Look like your eyes are focusing. You should be fine. Say your name for me. So we can change the name. Squall. So yes, that character is named Squall. And Squall is definitely the main character of this game in this case. It's not like Final Fantasy VI where it was kind of ambiguous who can be the main character. Final Fantasy VII is not that ambiguous either. Cloud is definitely the main character. But in Final Fantasy VIII, definitely Squall is the main character. And the thing that you're going to see is that Squall is the one that really have character development here. Other characters are just other characters, unfortunately, or in my opinion at least. Okay, Dr. Kadowaki. Why don't you take it easy in training? Next time, you might not be so lucky. Tell that to Cypher. That Cypher won't listen to anyone. Why don't you ignore him? I can't just run away. You want to be cool, huh? Well, don't get hurt in the process. Let's see, your instructor is... Kistis! I'll call her now. Just wait here a minute. Kistis. That's what's sad about this game, in my opinion, is that characters like Kistis, or Zell, or Laguna, or Selfie, drive me somebody... or Rinorai herself too. I don't feel they're as developed as anybody else in Final Fantasy franchise. When Final Fantasy first started that movement of making sure your character has more like persona. But oh well. Kistis? Come get your student. Yes. His injury is not serious. It will probably leave a scar. Right. No, please come by. Squall, so we meet again. A very important character with a very early presence. Okay, here we have Kistis. And oh my god, Kistis looks so amazing. And that's why it's so sad when you think about it, because she could have been a better character in my opinion. You'll see that she's okay at the beginning, but then it's like... she's like non-existent, which is too bad. Kistis. I knew it'll be either you or Cypher. Come on, let's go. Today's the field exam. Okay, now we can walk. Squirrel, is there something on your mind? To be honest, not really. What's so funny? Funny? No, it's not that. I'm just happy. She has a crush on him for sure. Like you have to guess that she has a crush. I feel like I'm beginning to understand my students a little. That's all. I'm more complex than you think. Then tell me. Tell me more about yourself. It's none of your business. And here we are in Balam Garden. That is something I really like for. I think that they did an amazing school. Like it looks wonderful, beautiful, special, different. But the Seed are not necessarily my favorite group in Final Fantasy games, you know. Good morning, class. Let's start with today's schedule. There seem to have been some rumors flying around since yesterday. So, you can see how weird that is. So you see those characters that have a very pixelated version versus the ones that don't. You can definitely see the ones that you can talk to versus not. Anyway. Yes, the field exam for Seed candidates will begin later this afternoon. Those not participating and those who failed last week's written exam are to remain here in study hall. Field exam participants will have free time until the exam. Just be sure you're in top condition. Meet me in the hall at 1600 hours. I'll announce the team assignments there. Any questions? Oh, and Cypher! Do not injure your partner while training. Be careful from now on. Field exam participants, I will see you later. And Squall, I need to talk to you. Okay, let's see. Oh, they left. Okay, let's talk to... Can I talk to them? Okay. You better show some courtesy to Instructor Trip. It's an honor to be called over by Instructor Trip. Trip. Anyway, try to smile a little when you're talking to the instructor. Okay, let's start to kiss this. You haven't been to the fire cavern yet, have you? You won't be able to take part in today's SID exam if you don't pass this prerequisite. I was gonna go this morning, but Cypher... Do you have a good excuse? Not really. Then let's get going. Haha, he's gonna go with Kistis. If you're not too confident yet, you can review your studies at the study panel. I'll be waiting at the front gate, so come down when you're ready. It's interesting that we put all those things in like blue, and in addition they put was how do we name that? Was two icons on the front, on the left, on the front, and at the beginning and at the end. You can access the study panel from your seat. Okay, we're gonna go back to my seat, I guess. Bye bye. I'm so jealous! Maybe I should take up that subject too. Should anything happen to Instructor Trip, the Trippies will get you back. I say trip, but I don't know. Is it trap like crap? Alone with Instructor Trip. Ugh. It's funny, by default you can run, but if you press circle, it does the opposite. Okay? Come on, Squall. Alright, let's get it. Let's get the study panel. Let's see. Turn on the power and what a pain. Alright, here we are. Balam Garden Network tutorial, the basics about garden, a message from Garden Square, and the school festival committee. Isn't it interesting because on Front Mission 3 we're gonna use a lot of those kind of stuff too. I guess that was the era where Squaresoft at the time decided to do a lot of things that were more like current era in a sort, or very similar to it. Anyway, let's go to tutorial new. Login, Squall, confirm. GF data for Squall, searching. GF register under Squall are GF Quetzalcoatl, GF Shiva. Nice! We get Quetzalcoatl and Shiva, so those are our two Guardian Force, and it will probably explain what it is. The tutorial covers all aspects of gameplay. This tutorial can also be accessed through the regular menu at any time during the game. Easy peasy! Alright, battle explanation, battle operation, let's see what they say here. Status of these 8 pages. A status window showing the character HP and ATB gauge is displayed on the battle screen. Characters can act once the ATB gauge is full. Pretty similar to any ATB games that we saw up until now. If you looked at all my videos from Final Fantasy I to Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remasters, they're all Pixel Remasters so far, but I'm probably gonna do over one as well. But here you can see that it still uses the normal ATB systems that we learned. Right? So we just have to wait that this is filled up and then you attack. Oh, and we did Final Fantasy VII as well. I need to not forget that because I did the PlayStation Now version of it not that long ago. Okay, commands are displayed when the ATB is full. Use the directional button to choose. Press X to confirm the command. Press Options while the cursor is on screen to see a help message. Okay? To use magic, select one magic and choose your target. The number in Stark is indicated next to the magic's name. The indicator indicates that the magic is junctioned. We're gonna explain what is junction, but basically, if I remember properly, magic is essential in this game. You have to actually steal it, and you will see that you can farm the steal. And I used to love to do that. Like I used to always try to get 99 cure and then 99 of everything, which makes the game a little bit boring. And that's why I was saying the gameplay is a bit weird. But that being said, you can junction them to your GF, to your Guardian Force. Anyway, it's gonna be explained. Item. When item is chosen, select the item and its target. The number next to each item shows how many items the party has. Very straightforward. Summoning GF. GF summons a GF junction to a character. Select a GF and its target. The number next to the GF's name shows its HP. So yes, here we have summons, but summons are named GF, Guardian Force. And those Guardian Force have HP, because when you actually launch them on the field, you keep them for a little bit of time. Which Final Fantasy X kind of reuse as well, but we're going to talk about that when we do Final Fantasy X 10-2 HD Remaster, which is also part of the PlayStation Now. Alright, let's go next. Draw. Draw, extract magic from enemies. Choose a target and magic, then stock or cast. Stock will stock the magic and cast will cast the magic. 99% of chance that you will do stock a lot in this game. And personally, I'm within those people that hate not having everything. So what I did is that I stock. And that makes the game a bit repetitive and annoying when you have new enemies. But I think it makes it fun too, because it helps, because you don't necessarily know what enemies will have by default. So, yeah. Limit break. When running low on HP, a right icon, sorry, may appear next to attack. Press the right directional button. This new command is more powerful than the usual attack. This is what we call a limit break. So yes, they kind of came back to how they did it with Final Fantasy VI here. You don't have another gauge to show you when you have a limit break, but it does exist. Miscellaneous. Press L1 to choose a target from a window, hold L2 and R2 to escape, for there are some battles from which you cannot escape. Exp is gained even if you escape, as long as you damage the enemy. Oh, that's interesting, that's new. So you can get exps. To be honest, on Final Fantasy VIII, the exps are not as important, because the reality is that what you need is really making sure that you have your GF junction, and making sure that you have enough magic to tie to your GF so like that you get super boosted in terms of your stats. Anyway, let's go to next, online help. GF function. Alright, junction tutorial. So here you can see junction. Junction enables character to power up and use abilities. So for example here, this means a GF must be junction in order to power up and use abilities. Let's begin by junctioning a GF. So here you can see Kistis. Right now, no GF is junction. I don't know, do you say Kistis or Quistis? I think it's Kistis, right? The U is not pronounced really, is it? All of the commands in gray cannot be selected yet. Once junction is selected, so here you can see the GF and magic commands appear. Since no GF is junction, magic is displayed in gray. Let's junction a GF. By selecting GF, a GF list appears. Press square to see abilities possessed by a GF. So for example with Quetzalcoatl, the abilities are HP junction, Vitality junction, etc. Let's choose a GF. When GF Quetzalcoatl is selected, its abilities, SPJ and VISJ make the stats HP and VIT appear in white. Magic can now be junctioned to HP and VIT. But since there is currently no magic, we will move on to setting abilities. There are 3 commands abilities and 2 non-command abilities for characters and party. A total of 5 abilities can be set. Depending on the GF's ability, the maximum is 4 non-command abilities. This means that up to 7 abilities can be set. Here you can see that there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so there's only 2 non-command ability available. Let's see some abilities. First, select a slot. The top window is for command abilities used during battle. The bottom window is for character and party abilities. Selecting the top window displays command abilities, and selecting the bottom window displays character and party abilities. Since there is currently no magic, let's set the command ability draw to get some magic. When an empty slot is chosen, the cursor moves to the right. Select draw to set the command draw. This is how command abilities used during battle are set. Let's add GF and item to the list of command ability. To be honest, with Final Fantasy VIII, 99% of the time I will have draw, GF, and magic, because that's more important than anything else. Item will be non-sequential in this game, unfortunately. Now GF and item are set. Let's set a non-command ability. By moving the cursor down, a character ability is displayed. Now to set magic plus 20%, select an empty slot, and select match plus 20%. Match plus 20% is not set. Abilities have not been set. This concludes the tutorial. Thank you and good luck. Alright, that was the one about junction. Card game rules. Okay. The cards originated when a psychic named Orlan modified these tarot cards for games. Interesting. The game became popular with soldiers passing time between battles. As its popularity spread, each region developed its own rules and picture variations. It's funny that we have like an old Final Fantasy style of drawing here with a black mage and a traveler, I guess, but anyway. Okay, here you can see the diagram, and the diagram shows you that there's a picture, which is basically like the things that you use, like if it's a bomb here, you see a bomb, for example. The numbers correspond to the four sides of the card. 1 is weak, A is strong. So you can see that here, for example, if I put that card in the top left, 5 and 2 will be what your card will have, right? Anyway, element. Some rules allow the players to use its elemental property. So here's the battle area, and you can place cards here one at a time. Elemental, some rule indicates elements on the board. Cards are placed in turn, and the player with the most cards when all 9 areas are filled win. Review rule by pressing triangle, okay? Choose 5 cards before you begin. Pay attention to number and elements. So you can see number 1 is the card name, number 2 is the number of you have in stock, number 3 is page number, and 4th is card chosen. The tricky part on this game is to not lose cards, because unfortunately if you lose a battle, you lose a card as well. So you have to be careful about that. Same turns over cards that have same number values on 2 or more sides. In the example, 4 and 1 are adjacent on top and left sides. This turns over the top and left cards. Plus means that cards adding to the same number on more than 2 adjacent sides are turned over. In the example, the cards placed add up to 7 on the top and left side. The cards on top and left are turned over. Combo. Cards turned over using same or plus turn over adjacent cards in combo. In the example, red will be turned over because one of the 2 cards turned over is a larger number. So for example, here you can see that 4 is bigger than 1 and yeah. 3 is not bigger than 2, but let's see. They explain it in an interesting way. Same wall use battles area wall, the frame, as one of cards 4 sides when using same rule. Wall is assumed to have a value on all sides. Okay. Elemental changes the value number of a card depending on the elemental property. When a card and slot match elemental properties, the number value increases by 1. If elements don't match, the card loses 1 from the original number value. We are at 34 minutes so far, so let's try to go a little bit faster to have some gameplay. Open, all cards face up, random, card chosen at random, sudden death, play until someone wins. Cards are traded when the game is over. The winner takes 1 card from the loser in the basic trade rule 1. There are many trade rules beside 1. Pay attention to trade rules before you begin a game. Direct, take cards you turned over but lose cards turned over by the opponent. Stiff, winner takes the number of cards by which she or he won. All, the winner takes all the cards from the loser. Oh, that's really bad. Okay, so you see there's a written test, red is rent, and there's a review. Icon explanation. So you can see like some icon here. I'm gonna go a little bit faster. Okay. And information. Basic terms. Okay, we're not gonna go through all of those, but you can see that there's terms that you need to understand. Alright. Let's see the bit. Oh, je vais pas faire. Sorry. Never mind. Let's go back. Basic. Let's go about magic. Magic used by ordinary people is actually paramagic. In essence, it's a technique which involves controlling energy. Paramagic was developed by Dr. Odin. He was the first scientist to research the nature of magic by studying a sorceress. The skill can be gained through proper training. However, with magic, it is difficult to achieve power levels that are comparable to conventional weapons. GF Guardian Force. A GF is an independent energy force. By combining it with paramagic, it is possible to control tremendous energy. Memory loss is a possible side effect, but this has not been proven as of yet. About sorceress and magic. A woman who has inherited the power of a sorceress. The origins of a sorceress go back to the ancient times during Heinz's reign. However, there is no factual evidence. Yeah, everything is about sorceress here, and there will be one that is very important that is kind of like the villain of the game. About garden. Facility rules, classroom. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother about all of that. But you can see that there's a lot of rules, and all of this is important actually to know because for the exam, it will be there. A message from garden. I don't want to spend too much time on all that. Garden Square. Okay, Zell wrote something. I don't know who is MS. That doesn't ring a bell to me. And the school festival committee. Huh. Aww. Interesting. So that was for not. Or should have given me a trophy for this? Okay, I'm done. It was a lot. Let's see if I press the menu, triangle. You can see square right now. And I'm gonna junction square with one of the GF. I guess it's better for Squirrel to update is... What is SPR? It's not speed, is it? But we're gonna put Shiva because... Okay. Okay, you set ability after doing all of this. Okay, we're gonna put draw, GF, and magic. And ability, we have nothing for the moment because our G-Force is also at level 1, as you can see. And that's what's more important actually, to train your GF more than training your character. Of course I can select because nobody. I can go here and change the order. Card, let's look at the card. I have none. Config, let's look at the config. Okay, here is all the same. tutorials, that's what they say that you can go back to. And voila, it's been 30 minutes in-game, but it's more than that really, because we did 40 minutes with all the cutscene and all that stuff. So you can see that we don't have any more that system. I'm late! Ah, wow! Are you okay? There! I'm fine. Sorry, I was kinda in a hurry. Oh yeah! Hey, did you just come from that class? Is homeroom over? Yeah. Oh no! This place is so much bigger than my last garden. Oh, hey! I just transferred here. Do you think you could give me a quick tour of this garden? Sure. Woohoo! Alright, let's go! We'll take the elevator to the one-floor lobby, and I'll show you the directory. Okay, we have a partner here. We're supposed to show her the directory, so let's go... I don't know, that way? Oh, look at that! Yeah, they did a better effort on the 3D for sure. Alright, here is somebody. Let's talk to that person. Oh hey! Would you like to have these? My brother gave me these cards, but they're really not my thing. You can have them if you'd like. What? How do you play a card game? I think it'd be best to look at the card game explanation in the tutorial. I don't know much about it really. If you want to play cards with someone, talk to them by pressing square. But keep in mind, not everyone is a card player. Oh, and by the way, I don't play, so don't bother challenging me. We received 7 cards. Hi, you have a seed exam today, right? And you still haven't gone to the fire cavern? Are you just taking it easy? I don't know. Oh, well, take care. Okay. Yeah, squirrels sometimes can be pompous, by the way, but... Okay, we got those cards. They're not the greatest cards. But they'll do. We're gonna do a trial of this. Alright. Let's go back to the first floor. That's the directory. You can see the save point as well, which looks like a floating, a floating tablet. Well, this is it. Balam Garden is pretty big. It's a good idea to check where you want to go and select it here. I have a question. How do you use this? Move the cursor and press X to select. Next, I'll give a quick explanation of the various facilities. Yes, sir. You'll find the dormitory to the north. A majority of the students live in the dorms. There aren't too many students who commute. Yeah, I'm in the dorms too. You can rest and change in there. West of the north block is the cafeteria. There's always a big rush for the hot dogs. You better get used to waiting in line. Got it! East of the north block is the parking lot. We usually take the garden car when a mission comes up. The front gate is located to the south. That's right, I have to go meet Instructor Trip at the front gate. What's the matter? Nothing. Next, we have the quad, located in the west block. There's an event being planned there. I know, it's the Garden Festival! It's going to be great! I'm planning to be on the committee. You wanna help too? Let's just continue. South of the west block is the infirmary. This is where you get treated for your injuries, but a lot of students just come here for advice. What's the doctor name? Dr. Kadowaki. Now the east block. This is the training center. It's the only facility open at night. It's used for training, and we have real monsters running loose here. If you don't take it seriously, you may end up dead, so just be careful. Okay. South of the east block is the library. There's a lot of material you can look up here, but the terminals in the classroom are a lot more efficient. And you already know about the classroom on the second floor, right?
Yep, I remember that one.
By the way, the headmaster's office is located on the third floor. You need permission to get in.
Another question, what's the headmaster's name?
Headmaster Sid. Yes, there's a Sid in that Final Fantasy II. So on Final Fantasy VII, Sid is an actually playable character. On Final Fantasy VI, Sid is actually some kind of scientist that has a relation with Celeste, but I don't remember if it's like a father, a grandfather, or just like a friend. I don't remember, or an uncle or whatever. In Final Fantasy V, Sid is a librarian. In Final Fantasy IV, Sid is a playable character and he's also like the ones that actually like help in airships. He's kind of like the mechanic of the group in a way. In Final Fantasy VII, he's kind of the same because he's doing like instead like space stuff. But anyway, in Final Fantasy III, Sid, and that's I think that's the first time that a Sid exists on a Final Fantasy. Or am I wrong? On Final Fantasy III, Sid is the same than on Final Fantasy IV. He's the one that helps on airships. You know what? On Final Fantasy II, there is a Sid, and same thing for airships as well. I think on Final Fantasy I, there may be a Sid. I don't remember. Anyway, there's a lot of Sids in Final Fantasy. That's about it. Anything else?
Got it! Hey, are you taking today's Sid exam?
Yeah.
Then maybe I'll see you again later. I've already finished my training at my previous garden. I'm taking the Sid exam today, too. Good luck to both of us, huh? Thanks a lot!
So I guess I can go there, and it can allow me to go directly to certain places, huh? Let's go to the front gate, so like that we meet with Kistis. Alright, here we are. Oh, she dressed differently.
I have a few things to explain before we head off. GF give us strength. The stronger the GF, the stronger we become. So here's a brief explanation of junctioning a GF.
Already know that, unfortunately, so I wish we could allow you to skip it. I'm gonna try to go fast. And yeah, we're gonna play a little bit outside because I want to show you the world map and how you battle in the game. Then we're gonna go back in Balam Garden quickly just to actually try the triple trial, which is the card game. And then I guess that's gonna be it for today. I just wanted to show you a little bit more about Final Fantasy VIII. For some reason right now I had like a blank, but yes, it's Final Fantasy VIII. Yeah, I'm gonna give Quetzalcoatl to Kistis. Kistis. I don't know. I'm gonna say Kistis. Maybe I'm wrong. Those tutorials. You can see that Final Fantasy, it takes a long time before it really gets started. Like Final Fantasy VII was very bang, bang, bang because you have a macro reactor and you have like to go fight directly and all that stuff. Here it's more, okay, let's be very quiet about Balam Garden, kind of like settle you in on that new world that we're gonna have. Which Final Fantasy Type 0 is probably the closest to that Final Fantasy when you think about it, because it's also like university students and blah blah blah. But Final Fantasy Type 0 starts in a war zone, which is like crazy. You start like in a very crazy situation to begin with. And that's why I think Type 0 is a little bit more faster at the beginning, fast-paced. But then you have to learn a lot, I think. I never finished Type 0, I just played 2 or 3 hours of it. But here you can see it's the opposite. Yes, we can always check back through tutorial menu. Alright. Once we get to the fire cavern, I'll explain how to junction magic. Use the command draw during battle and stock magic from your enemies. Be sure to have some stocked. Ready to go? Fire cavern used for the test is located east of here. Alright, that's the first time that
Oh. You forgot something? Okay, I'll be waiting right here for you. Oh, I didn't know, so that means that I cannot have Kistis with me in Madame Garden. Oh, I'm pressing. Oh, okay, here, perfect. So you see that thing here on the side that is purple? If I press it, it's gonna draw. Yep, it's a draw point. So it's gonna draw some magic. So I'm gonna draw to Squall. And now thanks to that, I got 5 cure. Okay. Okay, this guy doesn't play. I press square and he says the same thing than when you press X. Okay, now you can see that Kist is there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna junction her with Quetzalcoatl. And with Kistis, same thing than with I don't remember the others I did. Draw, GF and magic, I guess. And I cannot do anything here. But with Squall, now that we actually have magic, let's do that. Magic, SPR, and you can see that I can put cure. The funny thing is that cure didn't change anything here, so we're gonna probably have to try something else. But oh, I like that. You can see Squall in certain ways here. Look at that. Look at that guy and his stylish, his stylish style of clothes. Okay, let's see what that guy is gonna say. Excellent breeze, great day for cards. Wanna play me cards? Yes, let's do that. Open, trade rule is 1, okay. Let's play. Bam, 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 bam. We'll take the caterpillar, this thing, this thing, this thing, and this thing. Alright. Oh, he has good card, but I'm starting, okay. I'm gonna put this one 5-4 at the top left. Yeah, he beat me with that 6. The good news is I'm gonna do that. I got it back. Okay. It's risky, but let's do that. Okay. Let's do that here. I lose. He's gonna pick me 1 card. Dang it. Oh well, you can see how it works now. Let's see if we can do another one. So on this game, generally what I do is I'm gonna save before I do a card fight, because I don't want to lose like I did here. Oh, you can challenge him. Yep. Oh, all the characters are super good cards and me, I have like crappy cards. I'm gonna take a risk. I hate doing that, but of course. I'm losing again.
Oh well. Let's go back to Kiss Kiss. Oh. Ah, there's a draw again. You see, that's why it's so interesting, because the draw is something good. There's a moment in the game with a draw that actually allow you to pick up Ultima. And that I went to it quite a few times, because Ultima is kind of like the ultimate magic. Alright, let's do some battle with Kistis. You can see that in this game, the other characters are with you, are following you. They are not like going inside of you. Alright, here's the world map. So you can see the world map is interesting. Okay, left and right. It's for the world map. Okay, I see. And the zoom in, the zoom out, because you can have the world map like that, which is more like Final Fantasy VII and IX, by the way. I guess that's the fire cavern here. Okay. Alright, let's have a fight. And it's already been 56 minutes, so we're gonna stop here. Okay. Battle against that thing, whatever that is.
Squall, you still remember? The R1 is the trigger. Put it just as you strike. Same for the Renzokuken.
So yeah, there's a special attack that you can do. Okay, what is the first? Let's talk. And let's talk. Okay, fire, and what is the other one? Scan. Okay, scan is perfect because... Scan, let's cast scan on him, just to see. Alright, what kind of enemies this one is? Bite bug. A bug monster that flies, stay calm and attack precisely. It's not a very strong enemy. And you can see he's weak against the ice and the tornado. 154 HP. Okay, cool. Alright, we're gonna attack with a Squall. I don't know if it worked. If I succeed in actually doing like with R1. Oh, I did it this time. I wonder if with Kistis it's the same. Alright, we beat him. Okay, my next level, like it's like 400. Stun with a little magic power. Okay, stun piece. And I receive 1 AP for my Guardian Force. One thing I'm gonna do now is that since I have more magic, let's go here. Oh, you can exchange magic with other people. Yeah, I forgot about that. Well, not actually. I wanna go to Junction, not GF, magic. And you see, because I have 18 fire, I'm gonna get my magic better with Kistis. Let's do this. Let's see. Okay, Cure is making me go higher, so I'm gonna keep Cure. Alright. Yeah, you can see that there's a road. And it's because I think you can use vehicles in this game. Oh, there's 3 of them. We better beat some of them. I assume that if I try to draw, they will be exactly the same stuff, right? Yeah, fire scan. Okay. Let's just attack. Ah, I forgot to press R1. Anyway. Oh, why am I failing? Oh well. Okay, this time I succeeded. And this time I failed again. Let's do a little bit of fire. I should put draw last because I think that it's better when you put it last because you can just go up and then go to it. It's easier for me for some reason. I did it too early. Sometimes it's hard to tell when you should do it, but... Okay. You can see that that game is not 16:9, they kept it at 4x3. Which I think we did the same with Final Fantasy VII anyway. Alright, it's been 1 hour and 1 minute. We're gonna go to that city here. I did that on purpose to go all the way over there. Okay, you can see that we're in a city. Hey, you student have a garden, right? What's the news on the garden festival? Me and my girl are definitely gonna be there with our band, alright? I'll see you guys then. Okay, we don't have a... He doesn't... I can perform almost anything, but my specialty is singing ballads. Come by and listen if you're interested. Does she have card? Let's play card. Yes, let's do that. Although my card sucks now, but it's okay. Let's finish with her. I've been terrible with a card game. I'm gonna lose again probably. I don't see how I can win, fortunately. Alright, that's where we're gonna stop. I just wanted to show you that city a little bit so you can see a little bit of different environments in the game. Oh, thunder. Cool. And that's where we're gonna stop it. Thank you so much everybody for watching Toss a Show. Hopefully I gave you enough information about Final Fantasy VIII. And this is the remastered version that is available on PlayStation now. So please go ahead and enjoy. If you wanted to play Final Fantasy VIII, it's available on PlayStation now. Thank you so much everybody for watching. I hope it gave you information, as I said, about Final Fantasy VIII. If you like my show, as usual, please like the video. Make sure that you actually subscribe to my channel, whether it's on YouTube or whether it's on Facebook. And thank you so much if you do that, and see you all soon. Bye, toss out.